15 interesting facts about Japan you never knew. Japan is one of the world's most popular countries, known mainly for technological advancement and rich culture. You probably have heard of thrilling sights and interesting culture, making Japan a must-visit destination or a good place to live. However, there are still some things about this country that you've never known. And in this video, we'll be taking you through the 15 most interesting facts about Japan that you never knew. Make sure you stay with us until the end of the video, because every fact here will blow your mind. Number 15. Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. Kicking off our list, we have a fact that surely everyone would appreciate. And that is the fact that Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. The low crime rate in Japan is one of the country's most unique features. In all honesty, it can be said that crime in Japan is practically non-existent. The Japanese are incredibly loyal, honest, and law-abiding. And due to the strictness of Japanese legislation, people are less likely to break the rules and get into legal trouble. Also, because of the country's love of horror and murder mysteries, this is one of those truths about Japan that always astounds people. However, it's actually one of the world's safest nations. Number 14. There are 6,852 islands in Japan. Many people mistakenly believe that Japan is simply one island. So, if you're one of them, don't feel bad for thinking that. However, there are 6,852 islands in Japan. That's right. This seemingly large island of Japan is actually thousands of islands scattered around the same landmass. Of these 6,852, 4 are known to be the major islands: Honshu, where Tokyo is situated, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu. For an extra fun fact, the 2 oldest persons in the world, 116 and 117 years old, both reside on the Okinawa Island in Japan, a stunning island that resembles paradise. It's no wonder they live that long over there. Number 13. Japanese live almost the longest. It's no coincidence that the world's oldest 2 people live on the same island in the same country as the Japanese actually live. Probably the longest of any country in the world. If you're a fan of statistics, here's one to back it up. Japan has the 3rd highest life expectancy in the world. More numbers? Well, Japanese people on average live for 85 years, with the average female life expectancy being 81.1 years, while the average male life expectancy is 81.9 years, meaning women are currently anticipated to live about 6.2 years longer than men in Japan. It's all thanks to their healthy, hardly processed diet, and also because the Japanese regularly exercise and lead very healthy lives. What's more interesting is that Japan has more senior citizens than young people. Number 12. Japan has an insane population of vending machines. Another interesting fact you probably didn't know about Japan and would have to go around the nation to find out is the shocking number of vending machines everywhere in the nation. Japan has over 5 million vending machines, meaning that if all the vending machines in Japan were to be laid side by side, the line would go all the way from Japan to Hawaii. That's just crazy, right? In Japan, there is a vending machine for every 23 people. And that's not all. You can buy anything from these machines. The normal snacks and drinks are available, but even weird things are available in Japanese vending machines, like ramen, an egg, underwear, sex toys, and even a car. The Japanese obsession with vending machines also spells good money for the country, because Japanese authorities reported that vending machine sales amount to more than $60 million annually. But sadly, in 2017, the Japanese government reported that there were no more vacancies for vending machines. Better luck next time. If you think that was mind-boggling, wait till you hear this next fact. Number 11. Japan has more pets than children. It appears that, at least statistically, pets are replacing children in Japan, according to a recent report from the Japan Pet Food Association. The report read that the country has just 17 million children under the age of 16, yet almost 20 million cats and dogs. Crazy, right? With the sharp spike in divorce rates in Japan, there seems to be a dramatic surge in people seeking companionship from their four-legged friends. And with a birth rate of just 1.4 per woman, there are also fewer births in Japan. What's more fascinating is that some studies say that adult diapers outnumber baby diapers. Baby lover? Maybe Japan isn't the country for you then. Number 10. The maid cafe culture. You probably didn't ask for a weird fact about Japan, but we will give you one regardless. If you're big on trying out new and foreign experiences, then trying out a Japanese maid cafe might be for you. What is a maid cafe? In Japan, there are establishments called maid cafes where staff members pose as your servants while wearing maid costumes. It's basically a cafe with cosplay-clad employees, and no, this cafe is not in any way sexual. It features a restaurant, good food, and staff members dressed as maids. The cafe is one of the most bizarre things you might encounter in Japan. It's odd, entertaining, and a little cringe-worthy all at once. Who knows? It might be your thing. We guess you'll never know until you try it out. Number 9. In Japan, you can't be fat. Okay, this isn't even about body shaming. We'll explain. Japan is well known for its sumo wrestlers, and sumo wrestlers are known for weighing a ton. However, this fact we have about Japan might leave you reeling with surprise. Although the sumo wrestlers of Japan are extremely well known, you might be surprised to learn that outside of the sumo wrestling ring, there aren't that many obese people in the nation. The Japanese diet is well balanced, but it isn't the sole factor in their low obesity rates. What is even more interesting is that according to a 2008 Metabo law, the government reportedly keeps track of people's waistlines when they age 40 to ensure they stay healthy. In fact, every year people in Japan between the ages of 40 and 74 are required to have their waistlines measured. Well, damn, the Japanese really love to keep in shape. Number 8. Slurping your noodles is not considered rude. Yes, you heard that right. While slurping your noodles or making loud noises while chewing might be utterly frowned upon in many cultures, this is not the case in Japan. The days of having to chew your noodles quietly are over. If you're in Japan, making as much noise as you can while eating your noodles is okay. Making slurping noises is regarded as polite in Japan and signifies that you are eating and appreciating the food, which strikes as one of the strangest aspects of the country. Regardless of how it seems, being aware of this aspect of Japanese culture will make your visit much less awkward. If you are due for a holiday in Japan, we could only give you one piece of advice: slurp away. Number 7. You don't get to wear your shoes inside. In Japan, it is not uncommon to see people take off their shoes outside a guest's home, at a business place, or even at a bus stop. Why is that so? Since tatami mats are more common in Japanese households than carpets, taking off your shoes prevents outside dirt from getting tracked inside. It is also considered both courteous and polite. Also, the fact that Japanese shoes differ from those made in other nations in terms of structure is another factor. It's best to avoid wearing them indoors for both your safety and everyone else's, because they are more likely to be made of leather or cloth and might be a touch slippery. If you ever visit Japan, don't wear shoes inside simply, and don't ask why, because as the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Number 6. In Japan, you're allowed to take naps on the job. If you think the interesting facts are all over, then think again. You heard that right. You're allowed a nap break in Japan during working hours. The rationale behind this rule is that naps increase efficiency and productivity. For this reason, naps are encouraged on the job. Additionally, it is regarded as a sign of commitment and hard work on your part in carrying out your job. This fact about Japan may have you looking into available jobs in Japan if you don't already have the best job. We mean, we'd all like to rest our eyes a little from time to time. Number 5. Japan has a festival dedicated to phallus. Looking for a country that just keeps on giving? Japan has you covered. The Japan Penis Festival, which takes place in April, features tens of thousands of revelers parading through Kawasaki City amid thousands of phalluses of all sizes, shapes, and colors, and is possibly the funniest event in the nation, but not for its citizens. The event's modern goals are to encourage safe sex and increase public knowledge of STDs, but its rites and traditions reveal roots in Shinto, a traditional religion in Japan. You probably didn't know Japan was this progressive. Well, now you know. Number 4. Sumos compete to see who can make newborns cry first. Hold up. Wait a minute. Did you hear that right? You sure did. The Sensoji Temple hosts the 400-year-old Naki Sumo Baby Crying Festival every April. Sumos will take children on stage and attempt to make them weep as they are brought to the event by their parents in an effort to ensure their well-being. Some of them make frightened faces or yell at the infants to make them scream, and sometimes a frightening mask is employed to frighten them if everything else fails. Although it may seem strange to purposely get your child to weep, it is thought that making infants sob can frighten away any demons that may be hiding nearby. The finest crier will be assured a long and healthy life as part of the contest's alluring prize. Number 3. The Japanese consume the most seafood. Believe it or not, this fact is not only interesting, but as factual as can be. The majority of seafood in the world is imported by the Japanese. Here are the numbers on that. The Japanese consume nearly 17 million tons of fish annually. And when you discover that seafood is a staple item in Japanese cuisine and appears in most of their meals, don't be surprised. Their protein intake from shellfish alone is around 20%. This fact about Japan shouldn't deter you though, if you don't like fish, because there's an abundance of other excellent Japanese cuisines. Number 2. In Japan, more paper is used for printing manga than toilet paper. You've probably seen videos of Japanese toilets with their cutting-edge automated bidets that spray warm water and dry users' bottoms with the air. And here's the result. In Japan, the majority of people utilize bidets, and less toilet paper is used than in other nations. On the other hand, manga or graphic books are popular among readers of all ages. Manga has a long history, as it was first published as comic strips in publications during the Meiji era to promote literacy and young readers. Trust the Japanese to never derail them from their culture and to make technology work for them at the same time. Number 1. Fortune cookies originated in Japan. For our last interesting fact you never knew about Japan, we have something that'll probably cause an argument when you tell your friends. Despite the fact that fortune cookies are a common dish in Chinese restaurants across America, they are not Chinese in origin, but are actually based on a Kyoto-made biscuit from Japan. The current fortune cookie, which is still given out at the end of meals in Chinese restaurants in the USA, was invented by Japanese immigrants in the early 20th century. It is believed that the immigrants were motivated by the temples in their native country to hide the fortune-telling slips of paper within the cookies. If you enjoyed this video, go on to the next one on your screen. Also, in the comment section, let us know which of these facts you find the most interesting.